you just now tuning in, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit the bell. GMS fam, the green room. Let's talk about it. Hey, yo, GMS fam, the green room. What's going on today, y'all? How y'all feeling? Happy Wednesday. This is show number 2 today. You know, we did a live earlier, spontaneous live, if you will, but we got it in, and we did what we were supposed to do. And it was a very enjoyable show, man. Shout out to everybody that pulled up. Shout out to everybody that supported that show this morning. Let's keep going, man. It's hustle time, man. We got to knock these shows out, knock these lives out, man, and continue to give y'all the GMS show every week. You know, we start out the shows with peace, love, positive energy, good vibes, passing it forward, hoping that you pass it along as well. What up, Black Hippie Ricky? I see you. GMS squad in the building now. Tap in. First of all, check in. Who's in here right now? Let me see. If you listening, type something in the chat. Let me know. I see you, Black Hippie. What was I finna say? Oh, so the subjects for today. Yesterday, this is why I'm all what white people would say, be confuzzled. I was a little confuzzled because yesterday had some technical difficulties that I've never experienced on this channel before. And then all of a sudden this morning figured out that I was connected to the Wi-Fi next door. I was on some big Hotep hat, YouTube conspiracy shit. Oh, YouTube shutting me down. It's the thumbnail. It's the title. It's all this other shit. Man, I was accidentally connected to the Wi-Fi next door and not my Wi-Fi. So it was like dropping frames. It was like dropping out. It wasn't staying on. Man, I felt so stupid. I felt so stupid. So I'm like, man, I need to crank out 2 shows today, man. Fuck all the bullshit. But I hope y'all doing well, man. Shout out to y'all. Appreciate you. What up, Ty, the beneficiary? What up, California's Gold? What's going on, y'all? Appreciate y'all for pulling up. Now, like we were talking about yesterday, I had to go and scrap yesterday's show. And I wanted to go ahead and revamp what I was going to talk about yesterday and talk about it in a more efficient way to where we have no interruptions, and that is the Desus and Mero situation, as well as other topics I want to get to. You know, there was a man that was sued over a first date because he stood up the girl for their first date. She sued him for $10,000. We're going to get to that later, and I want y'all to be here for that story because that story is fucking crazy. And it actually, I mean, it's exactly what I just said, crazy. I mean, she proved why this man stood her up on the first date. First of all, this man's intuition is out of this fucking world. I want to have that type of person around me before I make sound decisions, because somehow he escaped a bullet without even getting to even know the lady. Kudos to that man, but I want y'all to hear that story later. Now, oh man, I ain't worried about nobody. This niggas been mentioning motherfuckers for a long time and still ain't did shit. Fuck that nigga. Now, Desus and Mero, two people who have brought a light to the media space over these past few years via the Bodega Boys, via Complex, Man Code with Charlemagne, to the Showtime show that they created. These guys have done a lot in the media space, and it has come to an end, a bitter end at that. Reports are saying that their manager named Victor was very toxic in the workplace. Very toxic in the workplace. I guess he was yelling at motherfuckers, cussing them out, being rude, just all types of just vicious activity apparently in the workplace. Oh, I got a sliver. I had a sliver in my hand. But it caused a rift in to the point where Showtime decided, hey, we don't want your manager here with you guys when we deal with you guys. When you guys come to tapings, when you come to rehearsals, when you come to meetings, keep Victor's ass at home. He is ruining this shit for y'all. And apparently it went Desus saying, oh man, I'm gonna have to agree with y'all. And all of a sudden Mero being like, I gotta ride with Victor. Well, here's the thing, man. I didn't really understand the situation as far as, you know, why they would pick and choose in that way and ultimately crumble the brand that they talked about being so strong and so brolic, if you will, for so many years. You know, their whole, the brand is strong, the brand is this, the brand is that, all came down to this moment of their manager. It wasn't even anything that had to do with Desus or Mero, the host of the show. It came down to their manager. And I was thinking to myself, you know, when it comes to the bag, when it comes to taking care of your family and continuing opportunities that, you know, are being allotted to you, what would you do for that situation? How much of your loyalty and your morals, how much of that does it mean to you as a person for you to make a decision that will ultimately bring the brand down to its knees? And I you know, if you were somebody who was just watching them and paying attention to their podcast, you know, the Bodega Boys, and you saw Victor, you would have thought Victor was somebody Desus brought in, like that was Desus' homeboy who they were close with. But turns out that was somebody that Mero was really close to. Apparently back in the day, and this will actually right here, this will explain why Desus made the decision to ride with Victor and not ride with Showtime and Desus. So way back when Mero wasn't nothing at all, just somebody out here writing and trying to get his ideas off the ground, him and Victor met, and Victor was working at this company, and Victor's job was to bring, I believe it was to bring in talent. He was telling his company, he was telling the people he worked for about Mero, like, yo, I got this guy over here, he does this and that, he's real funny, he's real talented, blah, 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 blah. And of course, in typical fashion, those people didn't get it. And they wrote it off. They were like, they didn't pay attention to it or none of that, to the point where they gave him an ultimatum. This is how many times he had to bring up Mero to these people, because they had to give him an ultimatum. They said, Victor, if you want to stay here, you want to work here, it has to be us or it has to be him. And he quit his job on the spot to go and fully push and promote and believe in Mero. And this is before Mero was anything at all. So fast forward till now, you have Showtime, a big entity that gives out millions of dollars for these shows, saying, hey, we don't want Victor around. We don't want this guy around that's been toxic or that's been this and that and been disrespecting employees and doing whatever he wants to. We don't want him here. And Mero's like, nah, fuck that. I'm riding with Victor. It makes a lot of sense. Now, will this mess up further opportunities for Mero? I don't know. But I think for any company, anybody that wants to reach out and want to work with Mero, they should keep into consideration his loyalty. And the way that the internet is set up is fucked up, because once the information came out about Victor being toxic or being abusive in the workplace as far as verbally and all this other shit, social media, the sensitive social media crowd, the PC motherfuckers, the cancel culture motherfuckers, like, oh yeah, we're riding with Desus because Mero's an abuse sympathizer. Oh, here we go with this sympathizer shit. I'm telling you, the story that Mero told about why him and Victor are close is something that social media is not going to get wind of before they hear a story about why he chose to be loyal to a friend who was labeled toxic. And that's my point right there. Black Hippie said they should have just checked Victor, let him know he was fucking up the bag. See, that's another thing. Was there ever a conversation behind the scenes before Showtime ever made the decision like, hey, we don't want Victor around? Because I also feel like that is a tactic in these networks to try to put a wrench between people. Because when you cause a rift and when you cause problems between individuals, it calls for more traction, more views, more money to a big entity. And if they can cause a rift between these guys, the people that's been talking about their brand being so strong and being so immaculate, this will stir the pot. And it's a tactic to divide somebody who you really want to be a spokesperson for whatever you have coming up. I believe they saw more of a professional in Desus, more of a host, more of somebody who can curate a show and move a show through in Desus, and was like, you know what? How can we separate these guys? Because they gel too well. It wouldn't be a Mero's fault, or it wouldn't be a Desus fault. It's got to be somebody else. So let's take these few times Victor's walked into Showtime and cussed out a few of our employees for doing some dumb shit and say he's toxic. Because if you paid attention to these guys, there's no way that they did not try to check their friend and be like, yo, you fucking up the bag, or you about to fuck up the bag, you need to chill the fuck out. And if you give a fuck about us and how we move and our success and what we're doing, you being a manager, you would chill the fuck out. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't add up. It does not compute why all of a sudden Victor became this toxic, verbally abusive person overnight. I don't think anybody's asking that. When did this all come to head? Then finding out that this happened like a few months ago. Like apparently the brand's been done. We just didn't know about it. This shit happened behind the scenes already, which is even sadder, because it's like you got people still thinking that some shit is happening, and meanwhile behind the scenes everything is done. You know, Mero put out a statement. He went on a radio show, and then he went on his Twitch. You know, I guess he had to give a politically correct statement on the radio because that's where most people would hear it. But on his Twitch, he was just, he kept it real. He's like, he'll be lying if he said it didn't hurt. You know what I'm saying? They build some shit, but he still wants to, thrive in a space where he can create things. He's a hell of a writer. He's a hell of a personality. So it's not like this is a rap for these guys. These guys can go on and do whatever. They build connections. They build relationships from all through the culture, from people in music, entertainment, sports, politically. Motherfuckers done sat down with Barack and Joe Biden. You know what I'm saying? Not that them niggas is shit, but I'm just saying. For status wise and for you to build your brand, that's huge. However you want to look at it. So, you know, it's just one of those things. It's like, man, you knew that a day would come where these two would drift off and do their own thing, but not in like the messy way. You know what I'm saying? So I just, you know, I hope that at least they can maintain a friendship. I don't think there's anything between them that would cause them not to be cool ever again. This may be one of those instances where it's like, damn, homie, you decided to go that way and I'm going this way, but eventually they gonna have a conversation about it, whether it be behind the scenes or even just if they want to capitalize off a bag and sit down on camera and talk about it. You know what I'm saying? But there will be a conversation. These two guys are level-headed and very smart, talented individuals, man. And I believe that they can be successful on their own in whatever avenue that they choose. So shout out to Desus, shout out to Mero, shout out to Victor, and shout out to the Bodega Hive, because they really, one thing about when you have something going on, it takes the people. It takes the people to really put you in a position to win, and you got to be able to connect with the people in a real way. And they were able to do that, not just within their circle, not just within New York, but all over. You know what I'm saying? I think that they did a really good job doing that. And you don't just, you know, get that talent out of nowhere, man. This is something that these guys was born with. They have that it factor. So shout out to them, man. More blessings to them. All of that, man. Now, I'm gonna have to light my joint for the next topic, because y'all don't understand. I came across this story by watching The Breakfast Club. I had no idea this shit happened. I seen them talking about it. I seen Charlamagne mention this. I said, what the fuck is this? A woman sued a man for $10,000 after he allegedly stood her up on a date back in 2020. All right? This man stood this woman up on a date back in 2020, and she is suing him. Instead of going to find the man of your dreams and to spend time working on yourself and your attitude and what you want out of life, she decided to spend 2 years trying to sue a man for a first date for $10,000. And not only did she do that, but she did an excellent job. I mean, exquisite job at proving the type of woman she is to not only him, but the judge. The judge. Check this out, y'all. Listen to her. Listen to this woman, man.
You are the plaintiff.
Are we done here?
You have to lay out
here?
your allegations properly.
Are we done here?
No,
I know
we're not.
exactly what perjury means.
No, we're not.
Let me just start by saying she's not talking to the man that stood her up. She's talking to the judge. She's talking. It starts out with her talking to the judge like this.
Done here?
You have to lay out
here?
your allegations
here?
properly.
Are we done here?
No,
I know
we're not.
exactly what perjury means.
No, we're
Do
not.
not insult my intelligence.
You have to lay.
Do not insult my
You have
intelligence.
to lay your. You have to lay your.
When a crazy bitch says, "Do not insult my intelligence," that's the easiest way for you to exit the door.
Please do
You
not
have to
insult my
lay
intelligence.
your complaint out.
Flint, Michigan resident Quashante Short filed a lawsuit against Richard Jordan. Please listen. Because he reportedly stood her up on a date back in 2020.
Here, you know, what is it? Intentional infliction of emotional distress?
Oh, I gotta light the joint.
Yes.
Is that the claim?
Intentional. Hold on. Intentional emotional distress. You mean it hurt you so bad that this man didn't want to go on a date with you that you are suing him for 10,000 of them things?
That's not something that's really justiciable in district court.
Shaquante Short. Oh man, stressful. Hold on, wait. We got to read that back. Let me read this back without this goofy ass music. Short claimed it caused her emotional distress because the date was on her late mother's birthday. Not on your late mother's birthday. Not when you should have been thinking about your mother, but you rather go on a fucking date. Oh, you cared about your mother so much. You cared about your late mother's birthday so much that you decided to go on a date. What? Oh, my mother's birthday's coming up, and I'm so sad because she would have been this years old. She passed so-and-so, and all I could think about is going out and getting some D. Oh, please, shut the fuck up forever. Then it went on to say, she reportedly sued Jordan for $10,000.
To be honest with you, sir, I thought this was just going to be thrown out. We had a date. One date and nothing else after that, and now I'm being sued for $10,000. I don't see how this is going to go any further. I think it's a waste of your time.
In that letter, he lied.
What letter?
And then that's what brought forth the perjury. It was never perjury in the beginning. It was
perjury. She said it was perjury because he wrote a letter and lied.
Perjury after his response.
Oh my God. Then it says the virtual hearing went off the rails after Short claimed Jordan committed perjury. Listen to what her definition of perjury is. Listen. And listen to how she tried to come at the judge when the judge, this is a judge. Your crazy, demented ass way of thinking is not the same way as facts. It doesn't equate to facts. This is a judge who studies the law. Basic shit for them is knowing terms like perjury. So her thing is he committed perjury by lying to her in previously written letters. Let's see.
First of all, do you understand what perjury is?
Yes, I understand perjury is a lie. I know what perjury means.
Perjury is a statement, a false statement made under oath. So
exactly, and I got documents that prove he was lying.
But please tell me y'all heard that. He said, do you know what perjury even means? She said, yes. He said, perjury is when somebody lies under oath. Under oath. That is like right there. Those two words right there is in the most important part of this whole shit. Under oath, which means you gotta be in court, motherfucker. You gotta be in court. You gotta be in a case to commit perjury, my bro. And she was so convinced she was right
it's
too.
A lie. I know what perjury means.
Perjury is a statement, a false statement made under oath. So
exactly, and I got documents that prove he was lying.
You don't understand. It's a false statement made under oath. Under oath.
That stated a
when
lie.
did he testify to something that he lied about? It's a false statement made under oath.
Bottom line is, you said it's a criminal offense, so I will send it to circuit court. Are we done?
I'm sorry, I keep positive, but it's like the stupidity in it. It's like, this is the, yeah, right, exactly. R.I.P. Kevin Samuels. R.I.P. Kev. R.I.P. Kev. Because if it was one thing he talked about, it was women like this. You got to understand, there's a specific type of woman that certain people be talking about, and a lot of hit dogs holler when it comes to that. And I wouldn't be surprised if this was one of those ladies who celebrated Kevin Samuels' death. You said, she said, I'm going to take it to circuit court. Oh, damn.
Done here.
No, you don't understand, ma'am. You don't understand.
Are we done here? Are we done here?
Perjury Perjury is.
Are we done
I
here?
know exactly what perjury means. I know exactly what perjury means. I know what perjury means. Are we done
No,
here?
you
Is it a
don't.
criminal offense or not?
What statement? I don't see anything in the complaint that says he made some false statement under oath.
Because you don't know what happened. You're on the outside looking in. You don't know anything.
But you're the plaintiff.
Put on
You
that
have, wait a minute. You are the plaintiff.
Are we done here?
You have to
Are we
lay
done
out
here?
your
Are we done
allegations
here?
properly.
Are we done here?
No,
I
we're
know
not.
exactly what perjury means.
No, we're
Do
not.
not insult my intelligence.
You have to
Please do not insult my
You
intelligence.
have to lay your. You have to lay your.
Please do
You
not
have to
insult
Oh,
my
look at my
intelligence.
man's, bro.
Complaint out. It
Look
has-
at
you
my
have to
mans. He
allege this
said-
in the complaint. You have
Please
not.
do not insult my intelligence.
Okay. According to several reports, Judge Marable ruled to move the case to circuit court after Short was muted and left the video call. So she still got what she wanted, even though this was clear-cut, blasphemous bullshit. This was clear-cut stupidity. And they still moved it to circuit court. Because I guess you still have to do it by the plaintiff's request or some shit. But it's just like, yo, can you believe that this man has to go through this for absolutely no reason? In this span of 2 years, you could have got some therapy. You could have worked out your issues. You could have, matter of fact, you could have had some time to grieve your mother's death. You could have actually cared about it in a way where you didn't spend time over the next 2 years suing a man over a date that happened on your late mother's birthday. You could have actually put something together to, I don't know, maybe celebrate your mother's life on her birthday. I don't know. I'm just putting things together because if people really felt bad or felt sad about their mom, they would try to do something on their mom's birthday. I mean, if it was my mom's birthday and my mom passed, I'm going to do something to commemorate the life and to celebrate the life and to honor the life of my mother. Not spend the next 2 years trying to sue a man for $10,000 because he didn't want to give you no dick. That is the problem, Your Honor. She said he committed perjury. First of all, shout out to Jeff. Jeff said the insult my intelligence repetition, tangent grenade. Yeah, I peeped that. To continue to say quit insulting my intelligence while not paying attention to what is actually being said, that's facts, that is intelligence being spoken to her. Like one intelligent person to another would understand. One intelligent to a dumb motherfucker, they're gonna react the way that she reacted. Don't insult my intelligence. You're talking to a judge. You're talking to a judge. You tell him not to insult your intelligence when this man knows. You know what? Let me not spend too much time. I'm done. I'm done. I was about to go in. We don't need to talk about that. We got more important things to talk about that. Shaquante, figure out your life and celebrate your mother's life the way that she would want it to be celebrated. That woman brought you into this world and she fucking took care of you and she loved you and she was there for you for your birthdays, you stinking ass. And now you want to go and get dick on her birthdays because she's not here on this earth. Shut the fuck up. I still went off a little bit. But anyway, this topic here I want to talk about. Tariq Nasheed was on the No Jumper podcast and he spoke about a lot of things. One thing that I wanted to pinpoint and I wanted to play an audio clip from, because if we play the video, they might come and block this motherfucker. But I'm gonna play the audio of Tariq Nasheed talking to a host on No Jumper, Flacco, and basically their argument was about black women and feminism. And I want to know you guys' opinion on this so we can have a small conversation on this. And then after that, I want you guys to hear him and Adam's conversation because he was asked for advice on being white in the rap game, and I want you to hear his response on that. But first, let's listen to this.
So the first feminist rally happened at Seneca Falls. Black women couldn't be a part of it, couldn't vote, couldn't do shit.
Yeah.
So why do you think that our sisters are now adopting the feminist philosophy when feminism started and they were excluded from it?
A lot of our FBA sisters are not doing that.
Yeah.
Let's be very clear. A few of them did in the 60s. Even before the first wave, they tried to get Ida B. Wells and all of these people to be down with the white feminist movement, and Ida B. Wells wasn't rocking with them. So anytime they say Ida B. Wells was a feminist, that's just really not true. She called them out because of their racism. Susan B. Anthony, Elizabeth Canton, all of these people, they were hardcore white supremacist women. They hated black people. And even the feminists in the 60s, they had that same hatred for black men too. You look at feminist lawyers today, Gloria Allred, her whole roster is going after black men, using these racist ass techniques and strategies going after brothers. A lot of FBA sisters don't rock with these white feminists because they have a history knowing that these white women can't stand them. A lot of foreign women, if you look, especially with the Black Lives Matter people and all of those folks clicked in with these white feminists, these aren't FBA women. They come from, they ain't, I'm calling them out. These are not, they ain't FBA. Yeah. And they go along with that line. Tarana Burke and all of these Me Too people, they're not FBA folks. So they go along with that program because they understand those white women are trying to undermine foundational black American society, and a lot of these non-FBA folks are down with that program.
One quick question. When you saw Dr. Umar in the mall, did you think, did your mind go to, he's probably just buying incense, or did your mind go to, aha, he's getting some snow bunny pussy?
Yeah. I said, I know Umar ain't doing that.
My mind went to giving him the benefit of the doubt. I would like to just note that.
I didn't know, but I thought it was funny. Just the visuals was funny. It was the.
Let me just say this, man. Dr. Umar and Tariq Nasheed would do so much better if they came together to raise funds to build something for black people. But a lot of these guys beef. I'm not saying that they're beefing now. They may be cool, but there's a trend in this whole thing. Whether you FBA, Pan-Africanism, or both, or whatever you want to rep, please understand that the only way for us to win is to combine our powers. As long as we're separated and fight and bicker and beef amongst each other, we're going to stay in the same place, and nothing that you speak of and try to encourage people about would ever come to fruition, ever. We gotta do this shit together.
It's a funny visual, but he cleared it up, so let's go.
No, but here's why I don't agree with that, right? Because feminism was here before. Again, like you guys fought to have black immigrants come here, right? So
yes, we did.
Yeah, right. So I do give y'all credit for that, right? Because again, without FBA, we wouldn't be here. Because you guys marched and said, "Yo, bring our black brothers over here," right? Right. So so thank you for that. But also too, feminism existed before we even got here, right? So
in the white community.
Nah, come on now.
There wasn't no feminism in the black community like that. How?
In what? The 50s and 60s?
In the black community?
Our sisters were definitely feminist.
How so? You better get it.
No, right?
Spit it out.
No, right? No, listen. Again, especially in the 50s and 60s, right? It was definitely a woman empowerment thing. And they definitely were rocking with feminism back then.
Not in black society.
Here, right? So you're saying that in the 50s, in the 50s and 60s, that black women weren't feminist at all?
Dude, did you see footage of the 50s and 60s, black women getting hosed down with water hoses and dogs sicked on them? What privilege of feminism did they have? It was black men and women getting attacked together in the 1960s. There was no privilege or benefits. Sisters weren't dumb thinking, okay, well, damn it, they doing this to me because I'm a woman. No, they knew what it was. We were riding with each other heavy in the 50s and 60s. After 65, the Civil Rights Act passed, they really started pushing feminism heavy in the black community in the 70s. And there was kind of a wave with that with black women. But that tied into the LGBT movement too, because the free love and the free sex hippie thing popped off. So they started saying, hey, come on, sisters, we'll lick you up and we'll hug on you and we'll have all of this interracial sex and you can be a feminist and we're all girl power. So that thing lasted for a quick minute, and then we got a wake-up call, later in the 70s, seeing that, hey, this feminist thing ain't working for black society.
No, Harry, so like you're definitely correct when you said feminism in the 50s and 60s weren't really benefiting them, right? Why? Because again, like the white women were cool and chilling in the crib while black women were outside getting hosed down.
Right.
But that ideology was still around. Again, even in the 70s, right? It was still
in the 50s,
there.
There was no feminism in black society in the 50s.
All right, right, cool. So, Harry, so like,
what I don't get about this argument though is what the fuck does that have to do with how black people were treated? Regardless if feminism existed back then, what did that do to like an entirely racist society?
Like, and how about this? Let's say
I don't get
1970s, right?
Okay, right.
It was still prevalent. At that time, we were here, but like we weren't here in droves and numbers as you see now.
Yeah. The feminist thing in black society coincided with the immigration movement. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Okay. You can't show feminism before 1965 in black society. You didn't have sisters running around here talking about girl power and all that stuff. When they were being segregated against, black women were still getting lynched in the 50s. You understand? Rosa Parks had to sit on the back of the bus in the damn 50s. What feminism? We knew there was no girl power, no feminine privilege in black society. We knew that. That came in the 70s, and a lot of those people, Shirley Chisholm was one of the black people, the black women who started promoting that feminism in black society. She's non-FBA. So we can point to some of the immigrant folks coming in, getting on that wave.
But you know what they call it now is intersectionalism.
Oh, yeah.
Now, let me pause that and shut that down for a second, because I need to say this. The reason I played that was because it's a perfect example of how certain people, certain demographics will completely try to uphold an entire different movement other than their own, because they have been programmed to do so. And I believe that what Tariq does is try to remind people that they're black first. These other movements, the feminism movement or Me Too movement, cancel culture, LGBTQ movement, all that stuff is a lot of things that I see a lot of our people try to put first when we haven't even made a fraction of the progression that these other groups have made. And when we're trying to tell you to focus on black first, we're not saying fuck them and don't give a fuck about what they got going on and who they are and how whatever. But we got work to do. We got shit we need to do. We got shit that we still need to accomplish. So while motherfuckers is out here trying to uplift other movements and other communities, we keep going backwards. So I don't agree with, whatever Flacco was trying to say. I honestly don't get what his point was, but this last clip I'm gonna play here is Adam asking Tariq Nasheed for advice on being white in the rap game. Listen to this.
I have a question in terms of your advice for me. I'm a person, I kind of, might be hard to believe it, but I sort of accidentally fell ass backwards into interviewing rappers, and then wasn't really that big of a plan for me to basically bring a lot of other different people on my platform. And now I find myself I don't think ever hired a white guy to be an on-camera personality, but I've found a lot of different black guys like Flacco here, and I'm putting them out there and helping them grow their platforms and everything like that. As of yet, seems like the black community maybe is tolerating my involvement in the community. What is your perspective on this business model, and what would you suggest that I keep in mind in terms of staying in the good graces of the community?
What you should...
First things first, before you hear Tariq's answer, I just want to say Adam is one of those people that had to grow on me. Pause. At first I'm like, bro, this culture vulture ass nigga, and then it was like, all right, I'm trying to understand where he's coming from, because I started seeing a lot of people that I either listen to or that I either follow start talking about or going into his platform to talk to him. So I'm like, all right, before I make judgment, let me just listen to one of this guy's interviews and see where his head is at, see what he does. And Adam genuinely asked questions. He asked questions, not that he deserves a pat on the back or that he deserves kudos or anything like that, because at the end of the day, it's still a form of culture vulture. Now he gets a level of respect for hiring an entirely black staff and being able to put other black media personalities and other people in positions to make money and to succeed over on his platform when you're here. And that's another thing. Like a lot of the white people that come into the culture don't do that. They end up hiring a lot of white people or hiring other people of ethnicities, and the only thing that they'll end up doing to spend money on is getting a feature from a black artist or getting black writers and producers to make sure that they shit pop and that they make money. This guy is allowing people to adopt the brand themselves and give them a platform to showcase who they are. And not only that, but allow people to branch off. See, that's another important thing to remember when it comes to this type of thing, because a lot of people don't do that, and it comes from it comes from the top and it stems all the way back down. Even the tops at the labels and shit, they want to try to control all these black artists because at the end of the day, they just want that bread. But I think him understanding that he is a guest in the house of hip hop and the culture, period, he's not going to run a plantation style business. So I got to give him props for that. But this is what Tariq said. Jeff said the black community is so poisoned with integration that the very thought of black first is blasphemous to them. See?
And it's good that you're giving black people a platform. Always make...
Oh, wait, hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second. Check. Can you hear me? There we go. All right. My bad. I had to go ahead and fix this right here. Let me restart this video. 48 seconds. All right, cool. At least we good. Just had to make sure we was good first. I had to unplug and plug my audio. The shit was sounding staticky on my end. I know it didn't sound like that for y'all, but I wasn't finna finish the whole, I wasn't finna finish this shit like that. Let's see. Let's see if this audio will go. Can y'all hear me though? Can y'all hear me? That's the important part. If you can hear me, as long as you can hear me, then I can be able to be good. All right, cool. At least you can hear me. That's the only important part that I care about. Now, even though it's not going to play Tariq's part of the conversation, I will say this. It's along the lines of basically what I just said. Basically along the lines of what I just said. If you're not in here being a vulture, if you're not somebody out here leeching off the culture and grabbing and sucking away from the black community and the culture out here, to me, it's all right. I feel like there's a space for everybody, but at the end of the day, you got to remember that you're a guest inside of the house of hip hop, R&B, soul, all the things that bring up black culture inside the entertainment space. just the entertainment space. See, we're not a monolith. It isn't just all hip hop and R&B and soul music and shit like that. But in this space, in this entertainment space, that's what it is. And I'm not gonna be like, oh well, the white man and this and that. Nah, man, I'm gonna give my props. You staffed an entirely black. You got an entirely black staff. I got to give you props for that. You can't say the same for a lot of the white dudes that pull up in this culture and do what they do. Post Malones and people like that. He said audio is cool, video is skipping. Yeah, I know the video is probably going to be skippy a little bit, but either way, I just want to say I got things that I need to take care of today, but I do wholeheartedly appreciate y'all for pulling up to the GMS show today. And I really, really thank y'all for participating in the chat. One thing I will ask, though, is that you hit that like button on the way out. And you follow me on my socials. I follow everybody back. Hit the Cash App today if you are feeling generous. Leave a comment under this video when the live is over. Help those algos get pushed up, baby. It's the GMS show. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Appreciate y'all. Put a GMS in the chat, baby. Smoke some. We out.